Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of what if Naruto failed his Genin test and was given intense training. Yes guys, part 5. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was 2 Advanced Phrase Age over on Anime King 2 and enjoy that guys. And stay in tune for a new episode over Anime King 3 that I'll be posting for you guys later on. If you're new here, yes, you heard that correctly. I have 3 channels, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. I post what if every single day on each of them for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Sakura had a rather horrible dream that her mother and father were throwing her into a cooker at the bakery because she did not tell them about Naruto being her teammate. As she woke up, she wanted to know how Naruto was possibly able to hold the nine-tailed fox inside of him. The thing was a large, gigantic beast, so how was that even possible? Sakura get up as usual as her mother was not here, either was her father. They own a bakery, so she really saw them. They left early in the morning and came back in the night. They communicate with each other through Postmate that they placed in the fridge with the magnets. So she made her way towards her team. She was a bit early, waiting at the Hokage's tower. As she saw Naruto, his hair was now black. Yes, his hair was black. That was a surprising thing. As he said that blonde, well, it showed off too much. So with that out of the way, Ami and her team came. As Naruto greeted Sasuke and Sasuke greeted back as the both of them started to talk. Ami and Sakura were shocked. Sasuke barely talked to them and yet he was talking to Naruto so smoothly. As Aoba came there as they took their mission. As Sakura wanted to talk to Naruto but she didn't get the chance because as the mission was over, Naruto was already gone. As Naruto made his way towards Ichiraku Ramen to get something to eat, as he noticed that the ramen tastes a bit off. Making his way home, he felt drowsy as he collapsed on a bench. As he passed out, he met Kurama in his mind. The fox told him his name and the fox was quite, well, intelligent. Something that Naruto never expected. And the fox told Naruto that he will understand what it feels like to be caged away without knowing anything. Without being able to communicate for your pleas to fall on deaf ears. As Naruto passed out, he woke up in the hospital. As Hiruzen came to him. As the only place that Naruto had something to eat was Ichiraku Ramen. So that meant Ayam. The girl would be placed on trial for almost poisoning Naruto and killing him. Hiruzen was not seeing things though, how Danzo saw it. Meanwhile, Sakura was training along with her sensei. As the man saw how quickly her body gave out, he noticed that she wasn't eating as he asked her why. She was fasting to get slim for Sasuke. As the man sighed, he went into psychological, well, taunting. After all, he was a part of the IT department. As it would be rather bad for Naruto if he lose her. After all, she was one of the few friends that he had. How would Naruto take something like that? And she would probably get cut down or taken on a mission to be taken and used by bandits. The thought scared her. He scared her straight. Naruto had left the hospital as he made his way to train with Danzo. Hiruzen thought that Ayam was poisoning Naruto because of the whole situation why Naruto had changed so much. But that was not the thing. He saw what was really going on. Mizuki has been trying to kill Naruto ever since. Mizuki did not let Naruto pass the academy just because he felt sorry for him. No, he wanted to find a better way to kill Naruto, as he has been trying to spike Naruto food. But the poison that he was using wasn't so strong, but this time, it knocked Naruto down. But the boy survived, as Danzo kept up Naruto training and teach him about the shinobi world, even tell Naruto stories about his past. As he got the boy to trust him more and more. Yes, everything was going according to plan. So yeah guys, those basically that's what I thought you guys can Switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So this is the beginning of this new episode. Kakashi was currently reading his book as he glanced towards his team that was as they were gathering on the chickens for a farm. Ami was in the corner as she was waving and blowing kisses towards Kiba. The girl had Kiba wrapped around her finger as he was collecting her shears for her. As Sasuke had finished collecting his and placed them away. Instead of helping Kiba to make it over quickly, he just stood there, his arms full, glaring at literally everything. Did he expect solo training? But Kakashi wasn't going to give him what he wanted, not until he helped the others, as he made a mild genjutsu with a smirk of his eye, just to see if the boy would see through it. But Sasuke did not realize. This is useless, Sasuke muttered under his breath. Kakashi did not reply, he simply turned another page in his book. And the great Sunday fondled the perks of peaky flesh belonging to her beloved Zaizuka. As the man, Sensei Ami said, "That's lewd." You say something? Kakashi asked. As he did that on purpose, see how they would react. And that started up a problem between them. "Kiba, what is taking you so long? I mean, Sasuke already caught all of his chickens." Kakashi sighed as he returned back to his book. No teamwork at all. At the same time, Naruto Uzumaki returned home sore and tired, his body aching as he opened the door. He was confused too. He locked the door. So why did he just push it open? Someone unlocked his door. Maybe it was Shinobi-san words and the training. But he quietly entered the apartment with a hand on his blade on his side. A quick flick of the wrist and you'd be able to stab the enemy. He doubted there would be an enemy in his apartment. He was in the center of Konoha after all, but maybe a thief. What did that thief hope to find in his meter room? He looked around his room in surprise. There was no one. He frowned as he heard a slight creaking. He turned towards the sink, thinking that his pipe must be busted again. Above you. The Kyuubi's voice reached his ears as Naruto jumped backwards and looked up in the ceiling, just in time to avoid death. As a shinobi dived down with a kunai, the man was wearing a mask unlike those of the Onvus because they had no animal characteristic. He was wearing a large white trench coat, the type the Onvus used to hide their overall appearances. Coupled with the mask, Naruto had no idea if he was facing an Onvu from the village, or someone from another village, or someone that was just plain dressed up. What he knew was that he didn't want to be here anymore. Tonight, the demon died, the man said. His voice came out in a rather mocking tone, as Naruto did not notice the explosion tag that was on the gas pan. The man waved a single hand sign. Boom! The explosion blew apart his apartment. Hot flames running across his skin. As he was sent sailing, he slammed into the wall. Really? The Kyuubi grumbled in his head. I thought better of you. It hurts. You want me to make the pain go away? You want me to help you, the Kyuubi asked. Please, just make the pain stop, said Naruto. No. Welcome to my world, Naruto Uzumaki. Welcome to a world where pleas go unanswered and your cry of pain fall on deaf ears. The flames start to reach him as he started to consume everything. But a snake made from ink slithered towards the gas pipe and turned it off as a big lion rushed towards him in a second and swallowed him. The cool sensation of the ink did nothing to the pain that he was feeling. He was brought outside by the lion that dropped him right in front of a perplexed Sai. What happened, Sai said. Enemy shinobi, said Naruto as he passed out. Sai left the place as the medics came, as he picked up Naruto as he looked at the burned house. As he took him away to the hospital, Sai looked at the burning house. Danzo-sama's plan of getting the trust of the boy did not require burning down the house with the boy within. It also did not involve needless risk, like the fire spreading to other houses. This had to be an external force, and if Naruto said enemy shinobi, there had to be an enemy shinobi. Thankfully, Danzo-sama planning for him to take up close residency to the boy, just in case something happened. It worked out good. Whoever the attacker was, they were able to slip in through the Onvu's guard, the rotation, where they watch over the Jinchuriki, a guard rotation of root Onvus that the Hokage wasn't even aware of. This was all extremely strange, as he had to report back to Danzo-sama after dealing with the Chunin guards that were now asking him questions. Are you a friend? He put on his fake smile. I'm his teammate, he said. That was good enough for the moment, he thought to himself. Time skip. The white ceiling of the hospital was starting to grow on Naruto. If his entire body wasn't flaring in pain, he would have enjoyed the flowery smell. He scrunched his face up in an effort to feel the calmness in the air once more. Yes, there was a different smell from the usual antiseptic one. As he winced a bit at his flesh that was burned under the bandages, he turned his head towards the bed decks. There were some pretty white flowers in a vase. He was surprised. Someone brought him flowers? He wondered if it was the Hokage or his sensei. He supposed that Shamura-san was warned by now. After all, as he looked through the window, he noticed the sun was setting by now. He tried to sit, but his back seemed to be held in a jelly-like substance. Moving was a big no-no. He groaned as he looked back up at the ceiling of the hospital. He had nearly died. Then again, it was only a matter of time, isn't it? It is always with you mortals. The Kyuubi voice whispered in his ear, like he was right beside him. It is a constant in this world. You always die. Naruto just breathed as he refused to answer anything back. If he ignored it, it might go away, or at least stop talking to him. The door slipped open 5 minutes later as a woman walked in, with a natural grace in her step. She was wearing a nurse outfit but the purple hair, and the way she moved told another story. You have woken up. Good, she said, as she took a few steps and looked at his medical chart. Do you remember what happened? He frowned. There had been a masked man. Fire. Some words on dodging. Not much, he couldn't remember much. Hurt. That was all he could say. Second and third degree burns do that. Her tone seemed sympathetic. We are keeping her back in a gelatin solution to avoid further damage as your skin heals. You are lucky you survived. The woman moved slowly towards the window and closed it tight. She muttered something under her breath. Naruto was confused because he could swear that she said Kakashi. You told him of your teammates about enemy shinobi on the scene, right? As Naruto closed his eyes trying to remember. Yeah, he did see Sai. Did the boy save him? Why was he there in the first place? The hour was a bit late for a visit. Maybe he was just passing by. Nothing happened by coincidence, said Kurama, its voice filled with a twinge of amusement. Yes, there was someone in the mask. He had baggy clothes. Before everything happened, he asked if I had learned how to dodge. I see, the woman said. Depending on how fast you heal, you might leave in a couple of weeks, she said. As Naruto winced, a couple of weeks? Skin. Need time to regrow, she said. The woman then left, closing the door behind her. Naruto sighed as he placed a hand on his chest, as he tried to calm his breathing down and try and get some sleep. There wasn't anything else he could do, could there? As he fell asleep. As Naruto found himself in his mindscape, as he made his way through the stores, arriving at giant bars, the eyes of the nine tails were narrowed. Well, in the hospital again. It's not that I like being in here, said Naruto as he looked around, taking in the dingy store. The pipe were rusty and leaky as he ran across the walls all around them. The water was knee deep. There wasn't a smell, but it had to stink, being a sewer and all. Me neither. But we can't actually choose our jails, now can we? As the fox flicked his tail, as a shogi board appeared. As Naruto blinked, thankfully though I can save off boredom. I don't know about you though. You play shogi, said Naruto. I don't like it, but it's not like I can go outside and stretch my legs, now can I? So I have to make do with what I have. But who taught you how to play, said Naruto. What? You think as a construct of chakra, I should be an ignorant, massive evil, pulled together to only be used as a battery for the first imbecile to come around? I didn't say that. It's just, you're the Kyuubi, said Naruto, and you are a human. That clearly marks you as an inferior and stupid individual then. No, but you're a giant fox. Who taught you how to play shogi? My father, perhaps, the fox whispered. My grandfather, my mother, or my grandmother. I was born out of chakra, but that does not make me an orphan. Your so-called sage of the sixth path, the mythological god of shinobis, is none other than my grandfather. Will you read of this in your books? Of course not. You aren't lying, are you, said Naruto. As he took a step forward, he was curious. Look at the shogi board. No, I'm not. I don't need to lie to hurt people. I don't need to crush you beneath my fangs and destroy you. I am the most feared of the Jews. Not because of my power, but because of what I truly am. Silence. Nothing but silence. Until a voice spoke up, a female voice. Demons should be drowned. A shinobi, him? Let's hope he dies, a man voice said, filled with hatred and pure anger. Maybe I could slice his neck tonight. If only Hokage hadn't ordered us not to. A calm voice said from under the water. Without parents as he is, no doubt he will grow up wicked. Probably his parents left him on purpose. I mean, who would love a monster like him? That voice, Naruto recognized it. It sounded like Ami. Die. 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 The voice kept on coming, multiple of them, coming from all directions. As Naruto's body started to shake, as the fox peered down at him. I cannot die, Naruto Uzumaki. But do you know why? There was amusement in the fox's voice. I am the product of malice and hatred, and you humans are so filled with it. I do not control the sand like the Ichibai. I do not give orders to the insects like the Nanabi. I am not a creature of strength like the Hatsubi. But I am the Kyuubi, a creature of malice and hatred. Those are everywhere and in every heart, and as long as they exist, I will too. Everyone hate. Some hate pickles, some hate children, some hate their wives, some hate their husband, some hate an innocent boy who was placed with a burden he did not ask for. You see, Naruto, your thoughts are filled with hatred as well. You're just not accepting them. Stop staring at me. A small voice of Naruto could be heard. Just leave me alone. But those small, insignificant voices were wept out by darker tones. They should just die, all of them. Maybe if I pluck their eyes out, they will stop staring at me. Maybe if we kill their parents, they will stop calling us orphans when they know the same pain. Yes. Why can't they all just burn? No, he screamed. That's not... I didn't mean it, said Naruto. I know, the Kyuubi said that chuckle, as the voices slowly disappear into a low mumble. I know you did not mean it, but I wonder for how long you will not mean it. How long you will go on, not accepting the truth. How long will you continue to sacrifice yourself, risking your health, your entire body for the sake of the peoples who does not deserve it? How long will you live as a slave to this village? I'll get to Chunin, then I can leave, said Naruto. I'll ask for a long-term mission, then I'll hide somewhere. The Kyuubi shook his head. A shackle born of fear is no better than a one born of hatred. And what if you can't? What if they don't let you leave? What if they don't let you live? Then I'll become strong, and then I'll escape, said Naruto. We should have him sail away after Chunin, Hiruzen. A female voice said in one of the pipes. We cannot let him leave and risk the Kyuubi to the outside. A male voice said, we can use a Hyuga seal. Hiruzen, you have to realize it. We can't let him go unchecked, the female voice said. He had his childhood. Now act like the Hokage you are, the male voice said. Think of the village. Think what will happen if the Jinjutsu were to leave. And whose fault would it be? Hiruzen's voice came in with so much venom, even Naruto was shocked. You think it's fair? No, I will not have him branded like a cattle. One day, Hiruzen, there will be another Hokage in that chair, the female voice said. When that day comes, I hope the Jinjutsu will still be in Konoha. Because otherwise, you would be given off to your successor to fight the 4th Great Shinobi War. Leave immediately, Homura Koharu, and don't show your face in front of me for a while. The both of you disgust me, Hiruzen said. The Kyuubi chuckled. Well, shackles are shackles. But does it even matter in the end? A prisoner is a prisoner, whether it is flesh or chakra. Shackles branded, they're the same thing. But Hokage-sama said he wouldn't do it, said Naruto. Yes, he wouldn't. But tell me, boy, what of his successor? He will choose a good one that won't do it. Naruto hesitated. What the hell did he even know about the successor, or who the Hokage will choose? Fuin Jutsu is a difficult art, one that you don't understand. It takes incredible skills to even master the basic concept. The Uzumakis were famed for their sealed knowledge, yet the Hokage used the Shinigami to seal me. Do you know why? Naruto shook his head, trying to look for an exit. Because, as I spoke to him of his sins, as I narrowed out the hatred of others, he nearly dropped the child that he was holding in his arms because he was shaking so much. Mom, when is Dad coming back home? A child voice said in fear. Uncle, where is Dad? Daddy isn't coming. Mom, where are you, Mom? The Kyuubi laughed. You humans always think that you're so powerful, so tall, so above everything. But you forget yourself. You forget that everything has a consequence. You forget that no matter what you do, you are evil within. That is my purpose in the world. That is what the sage entrusted with me. Sinless people does not exist. I am the harbinger of their destruction. I am the Kyuubi, born from hate and malice, to bring forth rightful retribution. Answer me this, Naruto Uzumaki. Do you really think in the bottom of your heart that you will ever be free? Naruto closed his eyes and clenched his fists. He will never be free, would he? Hunted, sorted out, chain, a weapon, Jinjulki. But when would he be a free man? When? Can you free me? Naruto asks. Everything has a price, the Kyuubi said. Remove the seal, and you will have what you desire. As Naruto looked at the seal, the water below him rose him up right towards the seal. He reached as he held onto the piece of paper, as he was about to yank it off, but a hand grabbed onto his. The fourth Hokage narrowed his cerulean eyes on him, before turning towards the Kyuubi. Kyuubi, he hissed. Minato, Kurama said. We just done talking about you. Take your child somewhere else, and tell him about the joys of being a slave of Konoha, would you? I grew tired of this. As the water level dropped in an instant, just as they were about to leave, Kurama let out one more call, and asked him of your mother. You will enjoy the revelation, trust me. Then with a bark of laughter, the Kyuubi returned to playing shogi. Naruto found himself in a room, nothing but white walls, white ceiling. Only the fourth Hokage stood right there in front of him. Naruto. Why? The man said, as Naruto looked up at the fort, as he was staring at the man that sealed the Kyuubi in his gut. And if the fox was right, this was his father. Naruto started to tremble a bit. There is no way in hell that the third Hokage didn't know that the fourth was his father. There was no way that people had known. Why didn't anyone tell him? Tears started to fill his vision. Why? You have no idea, do you? He screamed back. Do you have any idea what I had to go through? I was left alone. People, they hated me. All I have is the Kyuubi to tell me the truth. The Kyuubi is the only one that does. Tell me, where does that leave me? I didn't even know that you were my dad. I don't even know my mother's name. I am stared at, glared at, one of the few that didn't die because of me. I got no one that cared a damn about me. And all I get after all of this is a why? Why? Well, Dad, why not? Why did you have to do this? Why couldn't you just leave me alone? No, said Naruto. I don't want to know. My life was hell, and all you have to say is why. Why? Just why? I don't want the Kyuubi. If he wants to go, let him go. I don't really care. I don't care about Konoha. I don't care about the villagers. I just want to be free. Free away from their stares. Naruto, said Minato. You are no longer a child. Act like I was never a child, Naruto shouted. So no. Go join in a goddamn ramen bowl for what I care. You weren't there. You can't know. You wanted them to respect me, to call me a hero. But guess what, Dad? I was called demon, monster, never a hero. I tried to be happy. I tried to make them see me. But all they do is just continue to glare over and over again. And you know what? He said, his breath coming out ragged. The Kyuubi is right. Every man is evil, Dad. And Konoha is filled with it. I am just angry that he did not succeed to burn it to the ground. A slap echoed through the room as Naruto reached up and held onto his cheek. Shut up, said Minato, as he looked at his son with a stern glare. But not one of hate. You're angry. And I understand that. I'm sorry that things turn out this way. But you can't just go and spout that nonsense. I had wished for you to be seen as a hero, but if this happened, then I understand your anger. But your anger does not excuse your words. Should you wish the death of innocent children in their cradle, or the ones who actually cherish you, should they be killed as well? Or the kids that grew up and know any better, just their parents' words, should they be killed as well? You can't fault everyone, Naruto. You can't. But they can, right? They can just give me the fault for everything. Blame everything on me, right? They can come up and call me demon monster, tell me I killed their families, and then nothing happened, and I should just turn the other way and forgive them, right? Maybe I should become Hokage to protect them all, so in their hypocrisy they can come and say, I always believed in you, Naruto. Well done, my son. I'm proud of you. Well, no. The answer is no. I am not the scapegoat for their anger. They won't see me ever again if I get my say on things. I don't care about Konoha, Dad. I did once. I tried hard. But they took away everything. Took away one of the few people who loved me for what I was. They destroyed what little I have. So no, father, I will not forgive them. Minato breathing slowly as he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. I'm sorry, he mumbled. I know this is hard. Heck, I didn't expect this. I thought I would meet you in a pinch. If someone was trying to remove the Kyuubi, so I could help you out. I didn't think I would meet you so soon, driven by desperation and anger. I'm sorry, Naruto. And I know that saying sorry doesn't mean much, because it never works. I know it all too well, he said. Naruto bit his lip. His first instinct was to move away from touch of his father. But the man was his father. It was the first time he was talking to him. The first time he was seeing him. And he didn't want to miss it. He would eventually wake up and maybe he would never see him again. So he didn't want to leave. His head cooled down as he looked at his father. It's not alright, he said, as he hugged his father. It's not alright. I know, said Minato as he hugged him back. I know. As Minato hand went through his hair. You have my hair. Your mother must be furious about it, he said. Naruto froze. Mom's dead, he whispered. What? Minato seemed confused. When? What happened, he asked. The man sounded alarmed. She died in a Kyuubi assault. I've been living in the orphanage since I was born, Dad, he said. No, she didn't, said Minato. She couldn't have. She wanted to, but I stopped her. I knocked her out before she could try anything stupid, like resealing the Kyuubi instead of her. She was alive when I died. I know it. But Naruto was confused. Even if she did die afterwards, what about Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi? Heck, what of Orochimaru? Who? Naruto asked. Jiraiya was my sensei. Tsunade was a part of your mother family. They were cousins or something. Kakashi was my student. The only one that survived the war. Even Orochimaru would have been enough in a pinch. They should have given you a shinobi to protect you. After telling everyone that you were the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, they should have given a shinobi to protect you. Not just drop you at the orphanage. I didn't have anyone. I've been living at the apartment by myself, said Naruto. Minato looked at his son. So it's worse than I thought. So I get it now why the Kyuubi was laughing back there. It's no wonder why you're angry. He closed his eyes. I'm just a leftover chopper of the fort, Naruto. I won't stay here for too long. There's something you must know. I thought Sensei would have already told you of your heritage. But if he isn't around, do I have some inheritance? Said Naruto, trying to change the topic. I mean, cup ramen is nice, but no. I'm afraid not, said Minato. The Hokage is nothing more than an administration job at the best, and a figurehead at worst. The pay was nice and stable, nothing to splurge on. The house we had was probably destroyed when the Kyuubi attacked. The list that we had was probably taken to repair Konoha after the destruction. As of the case of dead shinobis that have no family left, we did our best to keep you a secret because we know that enemy shinobis will try to kill you for being my son. Alright, said Naruto. So what is it? When you have the time, son, reach for my head on the Hokage's monument. There should be a small rock near one of my locks. Smear your blood over it and it should morph into a wooden box. Take the box and open it somewhere safe. It contains a catch of soldier pills and one of my Harushin kunais. You will teach me the Harushin? No, said Minato. I don't have the time. It's extremely complicated to get even started on it. The important thing is that you take the kunai and bring to Konoha Cemetery. There should be a tomb to Ren. We never recover her body, so I had it dug out as another cache of equipment. The kunai opened the seals that surround it, and the coffin is filled with supplies that should help you in your shinobi career. That is where the Harushin scroll is, said Minato. Listen to me well. The Harushin is not easy. It's not just sending a kunai forward and hopping towards it. It requires perfect chakra control, a large amount of chakra supply, and a perfect knowledge of the human body. Writing down the Fuinjutsu part is actually the easy part. And with the kunai that you have, it won't be long. Now, I want you to swear to me you will not abuse this knowledge. I did not replicate the Harushin as a technique for war, but a way to be close to the people I always cherished. He chuckled as he went over a memory. Strange, isn't it? I was a mama's boy, and find a way to talk to her even on missions. Next thing I know is the S-rank technique only I can teach. Not many can get it down as well. And the 3 bodyguards I had always follow my lead with it, said Minato with a chuckle. Well, there's no need to swear to me now that I think about it. You will do what you believe is right. Only please, don't blame the innocents for it. Not everyone is a culprit, and many times people believe they were right, even when they're wrong. It happened to the best of us. Trust me. As Naruto swallowed heavily. Well, will I see you again, Dad, he said. Minato smiled as he ruffled his son here. Not until a long, long time. Do your best, Naruto. I'm sorry that I left you with this burden. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there for you. There's a reason I gave you the Kyuubi, and not just to protect Konoha. As he went close, Naruto wrapped his arm around him. Be wary of the Uchiha. Kill them if there's no other choice. Leave none of them alive. Whatever happens, don't trust any of them, ever. And do not trust the Kyuubi. He might be a person against his will, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous or sinless. As the man broke away from the hug, his body started to fade away. And tell Kakashi if Kushina could see him, she would kill him for dropping off the radar with you. Wait, Naruto said. I have more questions. What about Mom? Who was... But the man already disappeared, leaving Naruto to open his eyes. Because of the sun, he was awake. The third Hokage was at the end of the bed, with a pipe in his mouth. Naruto? Hokage-sama, Naruto whispered. The question was on the tip of his tongue. Where's my mother? It was already there. But did he really want to ask him, the man who knew everything, and yet told him absolutely nothing? Did he really want to ask him? He couldn't bring himself to do it. He couldn't do it. The man kept everything away from him, even though he saw how much he went through. The nurse told me that you were assaulted by enemy shinobi. Do you remember anything about him? Asked Sarutobi. Naruto shook his head no. Hokage-sama, he said. Can I ask you a question? The man nodded. If I did not want to become a shinobi, would you force me to become one, Naruto asked. The third blinked as he raised an eyebrow in surprise. I wouldn't have, he said. Your successor would, right? Successor? Are you already thinking I'm too old to rule, Naruto, the man said, with a light smile. What brought this on? I heard people talk. A man and a woman. A successor for you, they said. To brand me with some tattoo or something. The man's face was dead calm, as Naruto knew he hit a nerve, as he was trying his best. No, Naruto, he said. You will never be branded. Don't worry, I will see that those who talk will never meddle with you. Thank you, Hokage-sama, he said. When can I leave, he asked. The nurse told you a few weeks, Hiruzen said. As Naruto heard a chuckle in his ear, he then felt the skin on his back. It healed up. What you had to learn, you learned it, didn't you, the Kyuubi said. As Naruto pulled himself up, not feeling more pain. I'm fine, Hokage-sama, he said. I've got something good out of the bad deal that the fourth guy gave me, he said, as he patted his stomach. Hiruzen nodded. I see, I'll have you discharged then. If you hurry, you can even reach a mission hall before the hours are over. And by tonight I'll have you a new apartment. There will be no need for that, Hokage-sama. As Danzo walked into the room, I was just coming to visit. But now that I'm hearing this, I have a free room in my house as his Kinjutsu sensei. I say that he has a lot to benefit from it. Hiruzen's hole in his pipe clenched slightly. Shamira-san, you shouldn't exert yourself too much. You are grievously wounded after all. Nothing lethal, Hokage-sama. And nothing that can prevent me from offering a room to a homeless shinobi for the time being. Even then, Hiruzen said, there's a problem. And what, pray tell, would that be? Asked Danzo. Naruto has not said yes, Hiruzen said. The two elders turned towards Naruto. It's fine, if I'm not a bother, said Naruto. There. Problem solved, said Danzo. I will have a room prepared. With that, he left the room. At the same time, Sakura was faced a dilemma. As she stood in front of her fridge, her parents were there so she couldn't skip on breakfast. Her mother smiled at her kindly as she placed the breakfast in front of her. What was she gonna do with it? Eat it all? Eat a bit? She flinched a bit as she remembered her sensei words. Well, if she eat more, she can then train more and lose back off the weight, right? Worse to worse, she might even do what Ino did, the two-finger down the throat trick. As her parents looked at her, they were gonna be late to open their shop. Why were they still here? It was as she finished breakfast and left. A thought came to her. Were they told? What if they were told that she was not eating breakfast and they were now looking out for her? She swallowed thickly. She felt so bloated. Her stomach filled. She was gonna put up weight if this continued, and she couldn't. Just how did Ino manage to pass by her parents' eyes? She even had a shinobi father. It should have been more difficult. As she reached for the Hokage's tower, her thoughts went on Naruto. Their sensei told them that he was still in the hospital. How he managed to get hurt on a daily basis deluded her. But maybe he was just clumsy and unnatural. Why did he even try to become a shinobi then? What if he fell in his own kunai? She frowned. That was a bad thought to have, especially about her teammate. Sai had saved him from burning house. And she hadn't went to visit him yet, but he had weeks there, so she would. She didn't blink. No, it can't be. Naruto? She screeched as Naruto jumped a bit at her loud voice. What are you doing out of the hospital? She asked. Sakura, he said, his voice low as always. It made her feel bad now because their voice was completely different, the tone that is. As she felt bad about screaming, I was discharged. But Sai said that you had weeks, she said looking over him. Was it a small burn? I didn't think Sai, of all people, would blow things out of proportion. But you seem fine to me. I'm fine, he whispered back. Really, it was nothing big. Naruto, their sensei arrived 5 seconds later. Sai, there as well. The man frowned a bit, but seeing that Naruto seemed fine, he did not pry. Aoba knew when to ask and when not to. I've been discharged early, sensei, said Naruto. I can train. Aoba nodded to the black-haired boy as he walked in the tower. He supposed he would have to get used to it. The D rank of the day was an elderly woman that sat down on her rocking chair, watching them pull weed from her yard, who snapped at them for being too slow. Careful with the flowers, brat! She screeched at Naruto for the 17th time. Sakura, forehead started to gain a large thick mark. There wasn't even flowers around the weed that Naruto was pulling. He wasn't doing anything wrong. She didn't know how Naruto could stand it, or their sensei for that matter, as Aoba was just leaned up against the tree watching. The woman shouted at Naruto once again. Pat this soil harder. You're doing a really shoddy work. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, said Sakura. But her voice was really low, so the old woman didn't hear her. Cut those roots, or they're thorn. They will grow again. Shut up, shut up, shut up, Sakura said. She looked towards Naruto as he was using ninja wire. The woman did not give Naruto any gloves. His hands had dirt over it and dry blood, but he did not scream once. Tetsuya, said Naruto. All of a sudden, crush, as he removed the root out of the ground. His eyes turned towards the old woman, who paled under single words. Makoto, in pale, said Naruto. Koshiki, internal bleeding. Naruto, Aoba said, as he glanced towards the boy, as he pulled himself from the shadow of a tree, moving closer to the boy who wasn't done. Tateo, found dead under the rubbles 5 days later. The old woman started to shake in fear. You call me a monster and curse my name, but you're the one that is filled with malice. He turned his head. Sorry, sensei. She was annoying. Aoba said nothing as silence descended in the backyard. Sakura blinked. What the hell was that all about? You see? She quieted down to the Kyuubi. A bit of fear can go a long way, Naruto, as he uprooted another bush. You can use fire chakra to burn it all, Grandma said. Or you can just give up and leave the old hag. I'm trying to work here, said Naruto. It doesn't come out odd through the pipes. It is quite clear and loud, said Naruto, speaking of the Kyuubi's voice. He knew that the Kyuubi was evil, but was he really? He told him about the fort. At least he never lied. Oh, now you're making my heart harden of centuries of evil and humanity melt, said the Kyuubi. You know, being a mass of chakra, I am genderless. So, I suppose maybe I can come around as a beautiful female next time. Maybe naked, with massive breasts and 9 bushy furry tails. You will dig that, wouldn't you? As Naruto ripped out one of the thorn bushes. Ah, the beauty of hormones. The Kyuubi chuckled. I should have tried that. If only you had found out about me a few years from now, I suppose you would have believed it as a wet dream. That would have worked out. We're done, Aoba said after a few more minutes. The elder woman simply nodded and kept her mouth shut. Naruto, what did you do? They were midway, going back to the office, when Sakura couldn't hold on anymore. She had to know what they say to the woman that made her so quiet. I memorized the casualties from the Kyuubi attack, said Naruto. Since they keep on reminding me of what I am, I remind them of who they lost. One of the two sides will have to yield eventually. And I am a shinobi, I can withstand the pain. Sakura gaze softened. I'm sorry, she said. I wanted her to shut up, but I didn't say anything. It doesn't matter, said Naruto. I'm used to it. It does matter. And it doesn't mean anything that you're used to it. We're friends, right? Yeah, right, said Naruto. Even Sai can be our friend. Right, Sai? Sai blinked. He then nodded. Yes, ugly, he said. Sakura fist moved forward before she paused. She took a deep breath as she dropped her hand back to her side. Maybe you need a trial period, she said. A slip of tongue, Cherry, he said. Good, keep it that way. She looked towards her sensei, who was smiling. As she looked down, the small embarrassed blush. Well, that's an improvement, Aoba said. As they made their way to the tower, as he wondered if the other sensei's team had developed that bond that teams were known for. After all, he was sensei of Team 13. He was on par with ex-Onvu, Hatake, or the son of the third. Three Jonins, namely Kakashi Hatake, was keeping Kiba from murdering Sasuke because of how arrogant he was, and Asuma, who was smoking while Ino hit Shikamaru and Choji in their head, and Kurnai, who was trying to get Hinata out of her shell, and not really focusing on others so much. Maybe he could get his team a C rank, he thought to himself. Time skip. Shimura-san house was new. It looked like it was recently bought, with the windows not fully open, looked like they could not. Stone walkway coming towards it, and a garden that Shimura taught him Kinjutsu in. And it was already paying off being home taught Kinjutsu. But he didn't want to impose in the man's house. But the man seemed okay with him being there. But he was able to pull his blade fast, Genin rank fast level, as things were going good for him. At the moment, he was in front of Hiruzen, as the man was going through missions assigned. Hokage-sama, Aoba said, "My team is ready for a C rank." All of them blinked, their eyes moving towards their sensei, then looked towards Hokage, who simply nodded. As Aruka went back to the pile, "We have two, Hokage-sama. A escort mission to the land of Wave, our gardener merchant caravan to Tanzuka Town." "The escort mission would be preferable," said Aoba. "Tanzuka Town is far away, and with the hot bandit season coming around, they are gonna try to stack up on supplies. My Genins need experience, but there's a difference between challenging them and trying to murder them." "Who placed that mission on a C rank roster during this time of the year?" "I think it was Mizuki," Aruka said. "Warn him to recheck his mission submitted rank scrolls next time," said Hiruzen. He then turned towards Team 13. "Your client will be notified and be at the gates in 2 hours. The mission should barely have the occasional encounter, if at all. The client is transporting through steel, wood, and construction materials bought in Konoha, so you will help him unpack once he arrives at destination. The mission is not classified as urgent, so it can be annulled in case of wounded, maimed, or killed in your shinobi team. So should such thing happen, you will of course not be paid. Should you encounter enemy missing nins, you are not to engage unless provoked. You are Genins, not specialized envoys. Should you encounter foreign shinobis, Aoba is authorized to report back. Follow procedure and nothing more. Should any of you go against these rules, you'll be placed on probation and you'll be questioned for your actions. You are to maintain a cool but respectable facade with the client at all times. There will be no talking of Konoha techniques, no training in Konoha style only, or mention of Konoha defense while outside the village, unless permission is granted from your commanding officer." Aruka took a deep breath after that long-winded sentence. This is a general guideline that shinobis leaving Konoha for the first time are to understand. As the man sat down and opened a bottle of water and drank from it. "With all due respect, Hokage-sama, the next rookie team is yours to brief." Sir Toby shook his head. "Youngsters these days," he said. The moment the group was gone, he spoke. "We can have it done while Naruto is outside the village." "He will find out, Hokage-sama," Aruka said. "She has confessed trying to poison Naruto with various acid poison, various cocktails mixed with his ramen, even rattlesnake poison once. There's simply no other choice, Aruka. We can keep the information from Naruto as long as he doesn't ask. And he isn't going to, if I understand him." "Yeah, about the Hokage-sama, is it the right thing to do? Send him out of Konoha with that emotional baggage. A shinobi must learn to kill his emotion in a time of need. It is a lesson that we almost learned, unfortunately." Time skip. Naruto was in the meditation garden at Shimura-san's house. His backpack was packed and ready. He didn't know about the decor, about the stones in smaller and giant factions, but it seemed calm. Everything was just so peaceful. There was a strange statue of an animal that he didn't know what it was, but he didn't want to pry. As Naruto's nose twitched as he smelled leaf tea, as he had came to place that smell to Shimura-san, so he did not flinch when the man sat down beside him. "Trying to meditate before your first C rank." Naruto didn't even bother to ask how he knew. He just answered back, "Yeah, we're going to the land of Wave." As he opened his eyes, looking at his teacher, "It shouldn't be difficult, but I can't help but be nervous." "To be nervous is to be attentive to one's surroundings," said Danzo. "But do not let nervousness become paranoia. To see enemies in the shadows, all it needs is a keen eye. But to see smoke, it only needs distress. So I should be careful. But not overly so, said Naruto. A good shinobi knows the correct amount of suspicion to use, no matter with or with whom. But what if something goes wrong, said Naruto. Then it will, said Danzo. A shinobi must be prepared for the worst possible outcome, so that everything can run smoothly, especially when it does go smoothly. But you should always be prepared. Never leave a stone unchecked. If you see something out of the way, always make sure your eyes, your ears are always open to see the world better than most people can. Leaving out small information and details can get you killed. You're speaking like Aoba Sensei, Shimura Sensei, said Naruto. I better go, or I'll be late. I will not tell you not to worry, or that the mission will be simple. I will not tell you good luck or something similar, said Danzo. All that I have to say is this, Naruto. You have your training, remember it. Yes, Shimura Sensei, said Naruto. As Naruto arrived, Aoba was signing documents at the booth to tell their mission leaving the village, and the people that were leaving. As Naruto arrived, the only person that was not here was her sensei. Naruto, you nearly got here late, Sakura said. He just gave a nervous smile back. I'm sorry, he said. Shimura Sensei was home. I think he heard I was leaving and went away from the shop to see me off. As Naruto's eyes softened at the thought, he might buy a souvenir for him at Wave. Maybe he would like some tea leaf. He dropped his bag and started to check his contents. He had 2 kunai, a brand of ninja wires, a dozen shuriken, and a pocket knife within. Wrapped in thick plastic wrap was a change of clothes, and 2 flasks of water as well. He had tasteless protein bars, a small pouch filled with coffee sweeteners, just in case. Sugar is needed to put off sleep. That was Shimura-san's suggestion. But Naruto hated coffee, it was bitter. He also had a flask of alcohol and 2 pints of oil in case it was hard to start a fire. And he was given a few sticks of coal from Shimura Sensei. It was like he was going on a long-term mission and he was gonna be stuck somewhere. But that wasn't the case. He was going with his Jonin Sensei. And the man was, well, on top of things. Sai and Sakura bag contained pretty much the same things. But Sai brought out 3 soldier pills. Those were pretty costly, and seeing them remind him of the 4th Hokage stash, as he had yet to even go near it. And if the Hiroshin technique was in there, he would not give it to Konoha. He might seem like a spoiled kid, but it didn't matter. It was his father's technique, and it did not belong to Konoha, it belonged to him. As he took a breath, his first C-rank mission, as he wondered how things would turn out, good or bad. But guys, to be in episode right here, if you want to see next part, so do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Too Advanced for His Age, and enjoy that, guys, over on Anime King 2. And stay in tune for a brand new episode over on Anime King 3, which I do hope that you guys will enjoy. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.